Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom, man. First off, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Bashem, Rakwa Kodash. We send double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to you brothers out there pushing, man. Pushing. Prophecy. This is a quick article that the brother Wakwaya Kwam has sent me. Um, and it basically just highlights the inevitability of World War III. With the current events going on with the Trump administration, the Turkish administration, the state of Israel, Great Britain, Russia, China, North Korea, Iran. You can't see the pieces being put in place for prophecy to come to a head. Then it's more than the spirit not dealing with you. You just out there, man. Now this article right here is from the organicprepper.com. The title is 3 Recent Events That Could Send the U.S. Hurtling Toward World War III, right? And so we look into these all these things, and you can see it's popping off, man. It says by Daisy Luther, it says during the election, it really seemed as though Hillary Clinton as president would be a much more likely path to World War III. She even gloated of the action she planned to take that would have led directly and immediately to war. Donald Trump as president seemed less likely to get us into war with Russia. It appears that tides may have turned back in that direction. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9. Verse 1, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. And we're seeing that, man. We're seeing those effects and signs manifest themselves out in the world. That's why these great leaders coming up against each other, man. And that's why you keep hearing rumblings of trade and currency wars and inevitably hot wars. Let's read the first part of this in this article of the three events that could send us hurtling towards World War III. 1. The trade tariffs. We're already at financial war with China due to punitive trade tariffs that our governments are instituting on one another. President Trump wants to rebalance global trade in America's favor. It says, and China isn't going to go down without a fight. Here's more information on the list of tariffs the U.S. wants to charge for Chinese merchandise and the retaliatory list from China. The last time we were involved in a major trade war, the Great Depression happened, according to an economics expert for CNN. It says America's last trade war exacerbated the Great Depression in the 1930s when unemployment rose to 25%, claiming it was protecting American jobs. Congress passed the Smoot-Hawley Act in 1930. The original bill was meant to protect farmers, but to build political support, many lawmakers asked for tariffs or taxes on all sorts of goods in exchange for their vote. Several nations such as Canada slapped steep tariffs or taxes on U.S. goods shipped and sold abroad. For example, U.S. exports of eggs to Canada fell to 7,000 in 1932 from 919,000 in 1929, and that is absolutely ridiculous. Wow. According to Doug Irwin, a Dartmouth professor and former trade advisor to President Reagan, The result, the U.S. imports fell 40% in the 2 years after Smoot-Hawley. Banks shuttered. Unemployment shot up. Surely there were a litany of factors at play, but economists widely agree Smoot-Hawley made the Great Depression much worse than otherwise. Okay? So basically, these trade tariffs, man, make these other nations react to import-export deals that can drastically affect how much money's coming into certain companies and industries, man. And you know, right now we're seeing the steel, we're seeing intellectual property in China, we're seeing aluminum, and many other things that Trump was talking about. Now, on this right here, when you go to, oh, that's heavy. You got the algorithm video. It says currency trade war. This is back in January of 2017. We make this point right here about trade wars or currency wars. Maneuver these countries into a hot war. Look at that, champ. Okay. When you read down, it says, indeed, trade wars have been leading to hot wars for thousands of years. Ain't nothing new under the sun, Akian. For example, the war between Rome and Carthage, leading to elephants in the mountains surrounding Rome, essentially started as a trade war. Indeed, the top economic forecasters predicting war, the American policy of using the military to contain China's growing economic influence, and the U.S. considering economic rivalry to be a basis for war, the global currency and trade wars are creating a tinderbox. And so you see that same example. That's why you see China establishing something called the New Silk. So we go in on what China's doing, and that links up with, when we fast forward all the way up until now, we seeing how all of these infrastructure and trade routes and currency changes are now becoming manifest. So things are popping up in our face, man. All right. And when you continue on this article, and you know, it's just like we said, between Carthage and Rome, it started with trade wars, all controlling the Mediterranean and everything like that. You got the same thing happening today, except now you got ICBM missiles. It says, and what happened at the end of the Great Depression? World War II happened, and this ended the unemployment and resulted in a spending frenzy that pumped up the economy. There's always an increase in GDP during wartime due to defense spending, and that's what Trump said he wanted to increase, defense spending. He wanted to buffer the military. He's moving around troops. They're getting ready to do something. Let's go. But that is one hell of a bad way to fix the economy, don't you think? All right, number 2, the petro yuan. As of Monday, March 26, the U.S. has lost petrodollar status. I don't know about that. It's a steep statement. It says the petrodollar now has competition in the form of the petro yuan. What this means is that previously, the only way anyone in the world could buy oil was to use U.S. dollars to do so. This kept the value of our currency high, but now Russia and China are buying oil using yuan. Others may soon follow because the United States has ticked off a majority of the planet in the past century. And that reminds me of this scripture. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 1, it says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. And you know, and with the expanding, you know, military industrial complex, the expanding stranglehold on international trade and your ability to basically rule your own nation, that has made America and the West greatly despised. Edom, because Edom, which is the so-called white man, controls the major infrastructures that run the world. All these central banking systems, trade system, militaries, embassies, and everything like that, man. And they're greatly despised. Okay? Verse 3 says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, though thou dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Okay, so you have this eagle, America, which, you know, the symbol for America is the eagle, same as for Rome. The revived Roman system is what we have, and this place does live in absolute pride, man. You look at these so-called white people; they don't believe that their systems of white supremacy and wicked dominance will ever go down. Well, they're in for a rude awakening, very rude awakening. Okay, going back to the article, it says, what does this mean for Americans? Inflation, major inflation. If our dollar is worth less on the global scale, it means that anything we import is going to cost more. So anything that we buy is going to be more expensive when your dollars don't count for as much. Before they counted for, maybe, let's say your dollar could get you 5 pieces of candy. Now your dollar can only get you 3 pieces of candy, and over time it might only be able to get you 1 or half a piece of candy. That's what happens with inflation, and that's what happens when you got all these people holding dollar reserves to buy oil, and then all of a sudden they don't need all them dollar reserves to buy oil, so they send the reserves back, and so you just got money piling up that nobody wants. Okay, and that's what can happen with this petrol you want. All right, it says, if you want the super detailed economic explanation, this article and video will provide an in-depth info you want on the history and potential collapse of the petrodollar. Okay, which I'm sure they got a link in here. What I'll do is try to remember to put this link in the description box. But as we see, all you have to do is type this title in, and it'll pull right up on the Organic Prepper. Okay, save me some time so I can just upload this and get to my next video. Let's go. It says, many articles have been written about the possibility that the United States will go to war to protect the petrodollar status. This one is a good read. For a quick explanation, watch this video. Let's see. Fuck it, let's watch it.
Joined by the host of RT's Kaiser Report, Max Kaiser. Max, good evening. Thanks for coming on. We're hearing there that China looks set then to challenge the petrodollar. Why does Beijing feel the need to do this?
Well, first of all, they're very brave to do this, because countries that have tried to exit the oil dollar matrix have met terrible ends. Of course, Saddam Hussein wanted to trade oil in euros, so he was killed. You had Muammar Gaddafi wanted to trade his energy in something other than US dollars. He was killed. So the track record here is pretty dire. So kudos to China for taking this project on. And of course, they are rumored to be the big buyer in the Aramco offering of their state oil facilities coming down the pike. So this makes sense in a geopolitical sense in terms of you've got China and Russia and the Saudis are looking to escape the US dollar hegemony. They're looking to de-dollarize. That's a concept we see all over the world right now as countries want to escape from the U.S. military-industrial complex. These countries around the world are tired of funding America's military adventurism by being a party to the empire of debt, as it's known around the world, the U.S. dollar, and they want to split off. They want their autonomy. China wants autonomy. Russia wants autonomy. Iran wants autonomy. They don't want to be ruled over by the U.S. dollar anymore. So this gives them away this contract, futures contract based in yuan for oil, convertible into gold. It means that these countries can finally, and it's been in place since the end of World War II, escape the Bretton Woods U.S. dollar hegemony, empire of debt, supremacy, world reserve currency that is the U.S. dollar, and we're in a new beginning, I think.
Is there anything then that the U.S. can do about this? Because it's not going to be happy that it's going to lose the petrodollar. So how would you expect it to fight back?
Well, they're exactly right. They will fight back. They will start a war. Maybe they'll start a war between Japan and China. Maybe they'll start a war with North Korea. America will do anything to keep the U.S. dollar as world reserve currency. They will invade a country like Afghanistan. They'll stop at nothing, because this is the basis of the U.S. empire. It's not land-based. It's not based on material goods. It's based on rent-seeking. It's based on lending dollars, getting that income, and then when countries can't pay, they dismantle the assets and take them over. We saw in Latin America, South America. This is how America built its empire. The countries that are resistant to America's financial cartel are Russia, China, Iran. So now they figured out, you know what, we're going to split off from the dollar, and they can do so with this new contract. And they're embracing cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies in this context is another way to de-dollarize, get out of the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar is being held up narrowly with the Pentagon's various actions around the world and a lot of market machinations from the central banks. But once the cat's out of the bag, look for the dollar to have a very significant crash.
And among the countries you said might actually join China in this were Saudi Arabia. You said that just a couple of minutes ago. I mean, that might surprise a lot of people that they would be willing to go ahead with this.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
So how could they be able to do this and simply switch out of the US dollar? Do you think it's that simple for them?
Well, it's not going to be simple, but there is definitely a motivation for the Saudis to, they want to float Aramco, for example, because they need the money, because they're deeply in debt, and they're running out of cash, and they wanted to do an IPO of Aramco on either the London or the American exchange, but they were prevented from doing so from the legal actions of the 9/11 survivors, who rightly point to the Saudis as the cause of 9/11, the architects of 9/11, and they were allowed in America for those lawsuits to go forward. That's a pretty recent development, only in the last year or so, lawsuit.
All right, that's good on that. Get your education on, all right? So, as you see these things, it's going to affect world trade, it's going to affect world currencies, and, the West and the U.S. are going to have to do what they have to do in order to compete in the markets. They ain't gonna just let themselves get rolled over. I was listening to the brothers, man, and when you go and you listen to this, when you really dig into it, you see how much these different alliances that the nation of Israel had with the surrounding heathen nations, how it impacted how Assyria was able to come in, how Babylon is able to come in, this and that and that and this, man. Well, you got similar things happening this very day, man. You got similar things happening this very day. Okay? I'm just gonna go ahead and read this last. Boom. Yeah, this will work. This is I'm gonna read this. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 1. Woe unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with clothes of sack and hair. Bewail your children, and be sorry, for your desolation is at hand. A sword is set upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent upon you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? The Most High has already got these things set up to come, man. And all the pieces to the puzzle we seeing are happening faster and faster and faster. And when you skip down to verse 17, it says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars. And the power shall stand in fear, and the beginning of evils. What shall I do in these evils? What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Okay? But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. All right, and then it goes, it's talking about, behold, victuals shall be such good cheap upon the earth, meaning commodities, things that you can buy. It's going to be cheap and easy to trade, and that's the status here for America right now, man, with the dollar being so powerful. All right, and even amongst these nations that are linked with America, even when you want to talk about Ishmael, even when you want to talk about China, you know, these nations have been able to live deliciously because of the evil decrees and unrighteous ways of Esau, of America and the West. Okay, so victuals shall be such good cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Okay, and there's going to be a mighty collapse when all these different powers collide. Okay, let's finish this article up, going down to number 3 of the reasons why, 3 recent events that could send the U.S. hurtling towards World War III. Number 3 says kicking out the Russian diplomats. We also also kicked 60 Russian diplomats out of the United States because Russia was accused of poisoning their own spy on British soil. Trump took the action after the U.S. joined the United Kingdom in accusing Russia of attempting earlier this month to murder a former Russian double agent and his daughter using a nerve agent in the town of Salisbury, England. The action comes just 11 days after the Trump administration leveled the first sanctions against Russia for its interference in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. The United States takes this action in conjunction with our NATO allies and partners around the world in response to Russia's use of military-grade chemical weapon on the soil of the United Kingdom. The latest in its ongoing pattern of destabilizing activities around the world, White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said in a statement. Russia, the world's favorite scapegoat, recently denies responsibility for the poisoning. It's complete drivel, rubbish, nonsense that somebody in Russia would allow themselves to do such a thing ahead of elections and the World Cup, Putin told supporters after winning a 4th term as president. We have destroyed all chemical weapons, he added, rejecting the Britain's claim that only Moscow could be behind the nerve agent attack on former double agent Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia. Let's see. As for the dozens of Russian diplomats expelled from the countries around the world, Russia has promised a response. RIA Novosti reports an unnamed foreign ministry official protested the decision by EU NATO nations to expel envoys and confirmed that Russia will respond to each country expelling diplomats, warning that the expulsions won't go unanswered. And then, going back and forth, it says, whether Russia is responsible for the poisoning of their former agent or not, this incident and the response could lead to, you guessed it, war. President Trump seems to be building a war cabinet. If Russia and China decide to team up, it's a safe bet that they won't just be making passive-aggressive comments to the U.S. We can look for a brutal and decisive attack. Whether the United States strikes first or gets hit first will be the only thing in question. Whatever the case, it looks like the White House is expecting war. There was more upheaval in Washington, D.C. last week when President Trump replaced his national security advisor. Many people were shocked when Trump booted H.R. McMaster and replaced him with the avid war hawk, John Bolton. I am pleased to announce that effective April 9th, 2018, it says, at AMB John Bolton will be my new national security advisor. I am very thankful for the service of General H.R. McMaster, who has done an outstanding job and will always remain my friend. There will be an official contact handover on April 19th. The two have been discussing this for some time. The timeline was expedited as they both felt it was important to have the new team in place instead of constant speculation, a White House official said. This was not related to any one moment or incident, rather it was the result of ongoing conversations between the two. John Bolton ranks up there on my list of really bad choices, along with Jeff Sessions and Mike Pompeo. Bolton served as UN ambassador under President George W. Bush. He has openly been a supporter of aggressive military actions for decades. With former head of the CIA Mike Pompeo, these two are bound to lead us into a bloody and brutal war with, well, just about everyone. Fuck it, let's just read it. It says, it is no coincidence that next in line for Donald Trump's Secretary of State position is Pompeo himself. Together, Bolton and Pompeo will be able to advise Trump on anti-North Korean and anti-Iranian platforms, so hawkish there is no telling what's to come, though we have a fairly decent idea. As some of you may know, John Bolton's hawkishness has already led to some of the most despicable foreign policy agendas of our generation. You guys can go check that out. Just to give you an idea of Bolton's thought processes, check out his 2015 op-ed from the New York Times titled "To Stop Iran's Bomb Iran," which was followed by a recent op-ed for the Wall Street Journal called "The Legal Case for Striking North Korea First." Learn more about the world according to John Bolton in this article, littered with horrifying quotes right from the horse's mouth. So, while it seemed as though we were moving forward when Kim Jong-un agreed to talks with President Trump about giving up his nukes, we've just moved 10 steps back with this new war cabinet. And that's exactly what Pat Buchanan, advisor to 3 presidents and syndicated economist, has called it. He said, this is what Buchanan said, President Donald Trump seems to be creating a war cabinet. Trump himself has pledged to walk away from the Iran nuclear deal, the worst deal ever, and reimpose sanctions in May. His new national security advisor, John Bolton, who wrote the op-ed titled "To Stop Iran's Bomb Iran," has called for preemptive strikes and regime change. Secretary of State designate Mike Pompeo calls Iran a thuggish police state and a despotic theocracy in the vanguard of a pernicious empire that is expanding its power and influence across the Middle East. Trump's favorite Arab ruler, 32-year-old Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Salman, calls Iran's Ayatollah Khomeini the Hitler of the Middle East. Bibi Netanyahu is monomaniacal on Iran, calling the nuclear deal a threat to Israel's survival and Iran the greatest threat to our world. UN Ambassador Nikki Haley echoes them all. Do you want a war? Because this is how you get war. Okay? So I wanted to read that, man. Hey, man, World War III is inevitability, man. You know, that's why you read here in Jeremiah 51:46, it says, well, you know what? Start at 45. It says, "My people go out in the midst of her, and deliver ye every man his soul from the fierce anger of the Lord, and lest your heart faint, and ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that in another year shall come a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Therefore, behold, the days come that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, and her whole land shall be confounded, and all her slain shall fall in the midst of her. Then the heaven and the earth and all that is therein shall sing for Babylon, for the spoiler shall come unto her from the north, saith the Lord." Okay? And hey, man, the Most High is preparing to bring this thing. He's preparing to bring this thing. That's why you're seeing these moves being made with the petrol yuan, the trade tariffs, okay, this war cabinet, okay, them kicking out all the Russian ambassadors, the current military drills going on in the South China Sea, the tanks being compiled over there in Jordan, okay. You got F-16s get shot out to sky over there in Yemen, okay, by the Houthi rebels, which are backed by Iran. Okay. So hey, man, now that you got this petrol you want on the deal, it's time to get it. All right. It's time to see these prophecies go ahead and unfold, man. And it's a beautiful thing, man. I just wanted to put that update out there, man. Call halal Yah Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to you, Aki. I'm out there pushing the word, sincerity, and truth. Hey, prophecy. Shalom.
First, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching this truth and sincerity. And shout out to Yakim that's out there on the four corners of the earth proclaiming this truth. And risking your lives to do so, as we know that they are clamping down the internet and they are shutting our shit down, Of course, fucking pigs will say, well, we've heard some complaints, a.k.a., the pigs are there just to, protect the rich, and to oppress the poor, So, Eagle-Faced Trump says, we're coming out of Syria very soon. Let others take care of it. And, like they pulled out of Iraq, right? U.S. soldiers ride a military vehicle in Al-Karba village, northern Aleppo province, Syria, October 24th, 2016. That's what that picture was, Reuters. Yeah, right there. Yeah, so America's been in Syria. Everybody knows that America's in Syria, the whore, Babylon the Great. President Donald Trump has made a surprise announcement that U.S. forces will be withdrawing from Syria, citing the defeat of Islamic State and the need to defend U.S. borders and rebuild crumbling infrastructure. Yes, we could definitely believe he's going to build that wall, but that doesn't mean that they really are pulling out of Syria. No, of course not, but they're just letting others do the dirty work, because he wants to build that wall. We're coming out of Syria very soon. Let others take care of it, Trump said during a speech in Richfield, Ohio on Thursday, dedicated to his infrastructure initiative. So, here's the U.S. eyes partitioning Syria, gave up on promise that fighting ISIS, only goal. U.S. plans to remain in Syria for a long time, if not forever. Syria, it would be all over by now without the regime changers. So, they were pushing for a regime change. And believe it or not, they're just going to have others do the dirty work like Saudi Arabia on Yemen, right? So anyhow, here's somebody else who's already made a video on it. I pretty much know of this guy through, the other truth, through Syrian Girl. So play his video here a little bit.
President Trump has said that the troops will be coming out of Syria soon and, just relax, take it easy because we're going to end our involvement there. That's the meaning behind it. And, we're living in this milieu of time where you become accustomed to what politicians say. And, of course, Trump is a wheeler dealer, and you know where his loyalties and alignments are. And so what are we to make of it, which is...
Let me rewind it back, because it just...
the troops will be coming out of Syria soon and, just relax, take it easy because we're going to end our involvement there. That's the meaning behind it. And, we're living in this milieu of time where you become accustomed to what politicians say. And, of course, Trump is a wheeler dealer, and you know where his loyalties and alignments are. And so what are we to make of it, which is that it is a lure into a ambush. He's saying, relax, don't keep your guard up, we're going to leave Syria. And what he's really meaning is the exact opposite. We're going to really come in strong. Now, how it's going to manifest, I don't know. Will he really bring out the U.S. troops? As possible. But will he shower the place with missiles afterwards? Or will he be replaced with contractors? we don't know the real truth of the matter. And that's how we have to live in this day, you know, where politicians say something and you don't know the true meaning. But he's not giving up Syria, you know, unless there's some huge payback under the table which we're unaware of. You know, it's all Israel's doing, and it's all for Israel, and Israel's right there next door, and it doesn't even get its fingers hurt. Just by the way, you know, you keep hearing this argument, why doesn't ISIS attack Israel? Well, it's actually a redundant argument, because nobody attacks Israel, and I mean nobody. Even in 2006, Hezbollah did not attack Israel when there was the big war between them. After the war started, it did what it could. So it's a redundant argument, that issue. But
so yeah, you can best believe Amalek, you know, is behind everything.
Just getting ready for more ambush material. It's impossible to second guess what's really going to go on. But as homing in on Israel, keeping its fingers clean and not getting dirty by all this war going on next to it, or even with this trouble with the Russian diplomats. You know, all of Zionist surrogates, all the EU, NATO, US, they all expelled Russian diplomats. But Israel, no. Israel didn't expel any. You see the picture? You see what's going on? Like, they just dictate. They play everyone off against each other, basically.
And that's what's going on there. So, hold on. And here's a local thing here in Reading that I thought was interesting. Update, 18 new victims alleged in indictment of Reading doctor faces sex abuse case. The legal troubles for a Reading neurologist accused of abusing female patients seem to be getting worse. The Shasta County grand jury has indicted Reading doctor Hamad Rabi on 71 criminal courts involving 18 new alleged victims. He pleaded not guilty Thursday in Shasta County Superior Court. Jim Schultz wrote this. So, you know, that's going on here. And then we got this over here. Skirpo responds, Moscow orders UK to cut diplomats to same number as Russian mission in Britain. So you can see, though, that they're preparing for war, you know. The Russian Foreign Ministry said that the UK has been given 1 month to cut its diplomatic mission in the country to the same number of Russian diplomatic staff in Britain. In other words, pretty much what's going on is that enough of the talks were getting prepared for war, you know. The ministry had also handled a note of protest to the UK envoy over London's provocative actions. The tit-for-tat measures by Moscow come amid a whirlwind campaign launched by London over the poisoning of Russian ex-double agent Sergei Skripal and his daughter in Salisbury earlier in March. So, you know, things are heating up over there. And then we got this one here. Of course, you know, we were just talking about Amalek, the Israeli state. Several deaths, hundreds injured in IDF-Palestinian clashes at Great Return protest, you know. And you can see that there, you know. At least 7 people have died and up to 500 others have been injured during clashes between Palestinian protesters and the Israeli troops along the border of the Gaza Strip and Israel, according to media reports. So, you know, of course, we know that neither one, Palestinians, a.k.a. the Arabs, nor the Amalekites, belong there. You know, so they'll keep fighting over this as we see more pictures here. Congressman call for foreign agent tag for Al Jazeera as it digs into pro-Israel lobby. Yeah, so that's going on there. So anyhow, let's see here. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the headline news. So I'll just read here. I'm going to read out of 2 Esdras chapter 16. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. And, modern day Egypt and Babylon is another term for America. Gird up your salutes with clothes of sackcloth and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry. For your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and may turn it back. A fire is set among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is that may drive them away? May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may any one quench the fire in the stubble when it hath begun to burn? May one turn against the arrow that is short of a strong archer? The mighty Yahweh sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? Yahweh shall threaten, and who shall be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before Yahweh, and before the glory of his power. For strong is the right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they to be shot into the ends of the world. What's that talking about? World War III, nuclear war, the missiles, this is what we often describe here. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth as sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So, from one side of the earth to the other. Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled, and shall not be put out till they consume the foundation of the earth. Like an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward. Even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Yeah, because a lot of people are going to call on Jesus Christ or God, right? When they see these nuclear missiles being headed, and the sirens are going off and everything, but these missiles are going to make their targets, People are going to think, I thought that there was a Star Wars program, I thought that, that he was going to, do this or that, because they blindly follow the leader, right? And so they'll be calling on the wrong names because, we've been bringing out this truth for a while. His real name is Yahweh, and the son's name Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshai. They won't be calling on that name, but there will be those that do, that fell from this truth. Behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent on as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, not be always mindful of the scourges. And again, this is because they won't take heed to this word. Behold, victuals shall be good, cheap upon earth, that they shall thick themselves to be in good case, and even then shall ills grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Yeah, there's a famine coming, and then you also got famine of the word, not being able to hear the word when we're no longer on the streets, and that time is slowly approaching. Take advantage of this while this is still here, because it will not be here very much longer. I'm going to read something else here in RT. Never mind Facebook. Google is the all-seeing big brother you should know about. Yeah, Google. What do you think YouTube is? It's part of Google. The Cambridge Analytica scandal put Facebook through the winter in recent weeks, losing the company $100 billion in stock value and prompting a global debate on internet privacy. And of course we, use YouTube because it's the only way to get it out there, but we know that they're spying on us. papers, please, in your Facebook posts, U.S. to demand social media info from visa applicants. And so, of course they're spying on us, duh. They've been secretly spying on us for so long. Starbucks and Co. ordered to serve coffee in California with cancer warning. So they're putting chemicals in there that cause cancer. Well, of course they are. Nothing is natural. It's all, pretty much artificial. U.S. launches airstrike in Libya, kills Al-Qaeda chief. Oh, I thought that there was no more war since they got rid of Gaddafi, that he was this brutal dictator, right? No, there's always wars there. And so we know we're approaching this time. So I hope this has been edifying as I read a few things up here, and we're getting close to that day, So be prepared as, things are going to get much worse before the bombs drop. Shalom.
All right, shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and salutations, you brothers, doing this thing in sincerity and truth without charity. All right, it's going to be something quick to the point, man, through the power of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Waharakah Kodash, man. Just touching on the wickedness and the abominations of America, man. Just sighing and crying about this shit. All right, we're scrolling through videos, I was watching the video and then ended up scrolling through the videos on this page. All right.
What's up, YouTube? A friend of mine sent me this article.
And as you can see, man, this is an article from 2018, man. All right, and this is about this man who's facing 15 years for catching his wife commit adultery. All right, and it's not the case of. It's not even as if this man went in and just laid hands on him, which is his right and what he should have done according to the scriptures. All right, it's to put an adulterer to death. All right, the man and the woman, but that's not even the case, right? He had complete control. All right, and Proverbs tells you that jealousy is a rage to a man. He didn't even go off and lose it. In fact, all right, the man that was committing adultery threatened this man's life, and he told him to take it. Go ahead and take his life. So he actually kept his cool. And he's still being charged with this shit, man. Okay? He's still being charged, he's still facing 15 years for this bullshit, man. All right? Being charged for burglary and, unlawful surveillance. Now, it's his wife. He followed this. He ended up finding out where she was at, went in, the doors was unlocked. All right, so he didn't break and enter. He walked in, he recorded and caught it, man. So he can show, and so she can't take half of his shit. Because in America, the woman takes half of your shit, man. Unless you can prove adultery. And that's all he did, man. And like he showed it to his friends, he got this shit to prove that she was committing adultery, man. All right, meanwhile, you got the guy that was committing adultery testifying against him, man. Saying he was in fear. You should have been in fear, man. You should have been in fear and you should have been put to death. All right? He's testifying against him, but he threatened this guy's life, man. You sleeping with this man's wife. And you got the audacity to be in court testifying as if you were wronged. You were wronged for getting caught cheating, man. Hey, man, the Lord, can't wait for the Lord to execute judgments back in the earth, man. All right, because, and according to the Bible, this is supposed to be a God-fearing nation, right? According to the Bible, we're supposed to be put to death for that shit, man. This is Leviticus 20. And 10. And the man that committed adultery with another man's wife, even he that committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death, man. And that's the righteous way of handling things. Not the man who got wronged being punished. Even the guy, this nigga in the world, he said it, man. He said he felt it was unjust and he was being punished twice. He was being punished twice, man. He's actually facing jail time for catching his wife committing adultery, man. Hey, this place has to go, man. Hey, this place, hey, clearly the wicked is ruling right now. There's no way around it. This is Habakkuk 1 and 3. Why dost thou show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth, man. So clearly the so-called white man, all right, and this system he set up, man, is wickedness, man, and he is the wicked. There's no way around it, man. This is madness. This man is being charged with bullshit, man. Hey, this is Psalms 82 and 1, man. God stands in the congregation of the mighty. He judged among the gods, man. All right, and that these gods is the Israelites, man. And the Lord gave us the righteous laws, man. All right, He gave us the proper judgments and how to rule over this place, man. Esau is not profitable, man. He's the wicked. He's doing nothing but destroying this place, man. By his counsels and his bullshit laws and his wickedness, man. He's destroying the whole earth. Literally, by just robbing the earth of its resources, not treating it properly according to the law, not giving it its land Sabbaths. That's a part of judgment going forth. All right, so the earth is being used up and is weak now, but also just because of his wickedness, man. The earth is going through hell because of Esau's wickedness as well, man. This is Isaiah 24 and 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant, man. And the so-called white man has made his laws completely contrary to the laws of the Bible. All right? Homosexuals can marry. That shows right there that right there alone, everything is completely opposite to the Bible, man. If to that extreme is allowed in this place and promoted, you know everything else is out the window. Shit. Even a heathen knows not to be like this damn devil is with this homosexual shit, man. Okay? So this is back in Psalms 82 and 2. How long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Say lie. How long you niggas gonna keep dealing with this devil system, man? Clearly is out of order. Clearly is against holiness, man. All right? Defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicting and needy, man. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. So our job is to commit righteous judgments, man. It's to preach this truth. Because the wicked is ruling, man. All right? And somebody got to execute judgments in the gates, man. Because the so-called white man is not. Okay? They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. They have turned everything upside down, man. All right? Good is bad to them, man. And what's bad is good to them. They love it, man. All right? Even a fucking heathen knows that a regular heathen knows adultery is bullshit, man. And here's the proof of it in Genesis. You know? In fact, I'm going to do it this way to be quicker with it. This is Genesis 12 and 18. Now, in fact, I'm going to start up. This is 17. Okay? Because it's going to touch on what I read in Isaiah and that Psalms, man. All right, but what happened here, Abraham was scared for his life, so he told the Pharaoh that he was scared for his life. He told Pharaoh that his wife was his sister, right? So verse 17. And Pharaoh took her then, like, well, it's just your sister, and I'm going to take her for my wife, right? So verse 17. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with the great plagues because of Sarai's, Abram's wife. So when wickedness goes out, man, plagues come with that, man. And Esau's houses right now is the world. He's in control of everything. Esau being a so-called white man, all right, the nation of the Edomites, the wicked. Okay? All right, so those plagues are here now, man. That's why it's famines, it's droughts, all right? Heavy-ass hurricanes, all right? Wildfires, crazy earthquakes, the spirit of death, disease, just wicked spirits, man. People all out of order, all right? Those are plagues because of the wickedness that reigns, man. All right, it says folly is said in great dignity here. When you do wickedness, that's a good thing in this fucking society, man. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, what is this that thou hast done to me? Why dost thou not tell me that she was thy wife? So even Pharaoh like, why you ain't tell me this your woman, man? I ain't with this adultery shit. Why saidest thou, she is my sister, so might I have taken her to me to wife? Now therefore, behold, thy wife, take her and go thy way. So he sent him on his way, like, look, take your woman back, man. I don't want her. This is yours. All right? Now, what he would have done, if this hadn't happened this way, he got plagued, he would have killed Abraham and then took Sarah, which then it wouldn't have been adultery. It would have been murder. Okay? But even a heathen got some sense of fucking, which is still wickedness, but at least he got a certain a stopping point. The so-called white man has no chill, man. All right? And this is the proof. Not only did they commit adultery and uphold it, they finna try and lock this man up after he got the adultery committed on him, man. So clearly the so-called white man is the wicked, man. Who else is doing shit like this? All right? Clearly this is the nation of Edom. All right? And really, man, I can end it with that. You know what? I will end it with that, man. Malachi 1:4 makes it clear. Edom is the wicked, man. And the so-called white man fits the bill. So he clearly, the Caucasians, all right, he that dwelleth in the clefts of the rocks are the Edomites, man. Just look at all the wrong judgment that goes out in this place, man. All right? So with that, hopefully this was edifying. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles. And salutations to your brothers doing this thing sincerely, truth, and with charity. Shalom.
Shalom. Apostle Tahar coming back at you with this truth, giving all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kar Kodash. This is another GMS in transit. Speaking my mind, whatever comes to mind, I'll commit to this video here. Anyway, what's on my mind? What's on my mind? Something on my mind. Anyway, today's date is, damn, everything going so quick, man. It's almost April. A couple of days before April, March 29, 2018. I'm on the road. And, one day closer to this man, this Edomite, or the Edomites, going down, and us, the Israelites, coming up. And that's a beautiful thing. And the way he's going to go down, and by the way, big ups to Donald J. Trump, because we strongly believe that he's the guy, he's the current king of Babylon. In Isaiah, the 14th chapter, and it's a matter of time before we realize, or before we find out whether he's that actual guy. And based upon the times that we're living in, he has to be the guy. Because he's a loose cannon. He does things without thinking. And like I said, he didn't just get up in there and become president. It was the super elite that I believe the super elite put him in that position. So let's see what happens, man. That's why you got to keep watching the news. The ones of you that are getting weak in this thing, losing faith, well, I don't know what your problem is, man. Donald Trump is the king of Babylon currently. And he's going to do something that's going to get these nations riled up. Namely Russia, China, North Korea. And by the way, North Korea, China's got their back now. They're in talks with China. And when you go to the history of the Korean conflict, it was the Chinese that backed Korea. And it's going to be the Chinese, the Moabites, that's going to back North Korea. Pretty much everything that you buy, whether it be a consumer good or a capital good, look those words up. I spoke about that in a video I did maybe a day ago. Whatever you buy, parts for cars, items, appliances for the house, things that have mostly been manufactured, which everything is manufactured, you get for the most part from China, or Taiwan, or Mexico, or Canada. See, the U.S., they don't manufacture things like they used to, and that's what made America great. Well, that's what made Germany great. So China, that's why you have you have what's called the middle class of China, and they're doing good, and they're becoming multi-millionaires and billionaires. And they're going to be one of the countries that's going to cry when America goes down, when Babylon is destroyed, when Babylon the Great is destroyed, pursuant to Revelation, the 18th chapter. And that's a beautiful chapter. Read that whole chapter from the first verse to the end. It mentions the great millstone. So you think great millstone is not mentioned in the Bible? It's mentioned in Revelation, the 18th chapter. Anyway, when this place goes down and goes up in smoke, the merchants, China one of them, and these other nations, they're going to mourn because they're not going to make the money that they're not going to make no more money. Because actually, we're going to enslave the whole world. I'll read Psalms, the 2nd chapter. It starts off by saying, why did the heathens rage and I believe the people imagine a vain thing? Because you got these nations lining up to see who will be the next great power. Is it going to be Russia? Because everybody knows America's going down. I'm just telling you like it is. I'm the weatherman. I'm the spiritual weatherman. If it's a snowstorm, and I tell you it's a snowstorm, you can't get mad at me. You get mad at the Most High. All right? All I am is a spiritual weatherman. And all these nations know something that you Americans, you U.S. citizens and you Americans don't know. They know that you're going down. They're on the outside looking in on your ass. And they know that you're going down. But they think that you're going to go down economically. You are going to go down economically, but ultimately you're going to go down by way of the War of Armageddon. World War III, so you can understand. Something's going to happen. There's going to be a series of events that the king of Babylon will do to get certain nations to back away from America. Get certain nations angry at America or Babylon. And that includes your allies, Great Britain, Germany, France, all the NATO nations, all of the EU nations. They're gonna all come together and they're gonna shoot missiles on this bitch. This bitch I'm talking about is Babylon the Great. So you Christians out there, you can run and hide and pretend you know the Bible, but you don't know the Bible, man. If you knew the Bible, you would know that America is Babylon the Great in the book of Revelation. The one that sitteth, she that sitteth upon many waters. And those waters, I tell you that in Revelation 17, that those waters represents people and nations and people and nations. Because America is known as the great cauldron, the great melting pot. And all of you nations that came over here to make money, and you've made money. Every nation that came over here as immigrants or illegal, you came here to make money, man. You didn't come here because you like the freedoms that America gives you. Hell, they all got freedom. They can hang out. They can do what they want to do. They can go out to restaurants. Like, this is some special place where you got these freedoms. Every nation that comes over here is for business, to make money. But guess what? The Most High set these nations up because these are these nations that, for the most part, enslaved us, like the Moabites, the various nations that enslaved us. And the Most High is going to get them, along with you Edomites, and 2/3 of you Israelites. With you 2/3 of the Israelites, you were the ones that was in the wilderness that got cut off in the wilderness. And the ones that made it to the other side were your children, were your offspring. So those were the 1/3. That represented part of the 1/3. Remember, Israel is as the sand of the sea and the stars of the heaven that cannot be counted. And we're literally all over the place, man. Anyway, I'm going to get ready to close. This is just an exhortation to you brothers out there, you brothers that are getting weak. I don't know what your problem is, man. All the prophecies are coming to pass. You can't see them because you're not looking. You're not looking for the prophecies. 2018, the year of prophecies, man. And I pray that all these prophecies come to pass in the year 2018, and that this man go down in the year 2018, or the beginning of 2019. So, that's all we can do. We're prisoners of hope. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say, Shalom.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, the elder apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us His truth and who teach the true doctrine of the Holy Scriptures. All right, and sincere Shalom to the elect that are out there laboring and pushing hard in these last days, man, because we are in the last days. And just today, we came up with this topic, just by reading some news headlines. There's so much going on. So you brothers that got a hard time doing 3 10-minute videos a week, just look at the news, man. In fact, I'm going to get into a couple of these headlines right now. I'm just going to read the headlines, then I'm going to get into 2nd Esau'S. It's like these devils make it so that you have to watch the video on their fucking channel. Turn that off. This is from CNBC.com. Trump slaps China with tariffs on up to $60 billion in imports. Quotes, "This is the first of many." President Donald Trump targets China with up to $60 billion in Chinese imports. Trump administration says China's trade practices involve stealing American companies' intellectual property. China recently argued that it should not be punished if it doesn't want to buy what the U.S. is selling. And this is big news because this is following up on the steel tariffs, but this is much bigger than that because
I mean, when you go to the store, everything's fucking made in China. You know, these tariffs apply to a lot of electronics that are made in China. So it's not just going to hurt Chinese companies. It's also going to hurt American companies that use Chinese electronics. Like pretty much every cell phone and computer has at least a couple components in it. You know, maybe not all the electronics come from China, but a lot of them do. Like the 4G or 5G modems about to be put in. You know, the GPS systems, the screens. A lot of those are made in China, and there's about to be a big major tax put on that, man. And it's causing strife between contention and strife between these two nations, man. All right, and China and Russia have also been working together. They've been doing joint military drills for a while now. They got all kinds of trade deals and all kinds of organizations being opened up. Okay, they're working on de-dollarization, getting rid of the U.S. dollar. It's like an alliance, man. It's going to further separate those two. I got a quick scripture. Matthew 24:6, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And these are wars and rumors of wars that we're starting to see come to fruition, man. Because trade wars lead to real wars. Okay? This is going to hurt both these nations' economies. They're going to start getting protective over their property, their intellectual property, and their resources. Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. So remember that phrase, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Okay, there's a lot of back and forth that's about to happen. Things are going to get ugly, man. Protectionist policies are going to be put into place. You know, trade is going to come to a screeching halt.
Yeah, it's going to be a crying of wine in the streets, you know. I got a quick precept. This is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 46. It says, and lest your heart faint, and ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land, a rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that in another year shall come a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. So each year, you know, basically you keep hearing about these wars and rumors of wars like the brother brought out. Because when we bring out these scriptures, you got a lot of people that'll say, well, there's always been rumors of war, you know, or it was like that back in the day too. But yeah, it's not like it is now, really. Because now it's at an all-time high. Now you got these countries with different nuclear capabilities that's flaunting their missiles in the streets. All right, you got Trump putting tariffs on these other countries, you know, and the tension is higher. The tension is getting hotter and hotter, man. Pretty soon, the Most High is going to put the spirit on different kings of the earth, because the scriptures say that the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. Pretty soon, the Most High is going to put the spirit on these different kings of the earth. Is going to go from taunting to physical actions. So these wars that we speaking about is going to become physical, man. All right, it's going to be action.
Can I say something out?
Yeah.
I got a precept. This Isaiah 9:5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and because all the wars that was on the face of the earth was with like swords and shit, and like even like World War I and World War II, it was like just machinery and guns and shit. But this war that's coming is like no other war, because they're gonna be using like them nuclear missiles and shit, and nuclear missiles can destroy the earth.
Right.
The earth was never in danger with those wars. Those other wars, you know, even whatever the biggest war was, it was never, the earth was never in danger. With a nuclear missile, it could destroy the whole earth.
That's right.
It's a garments road in
cities with a nuclear missile, man. Entire cities.
Yeah. So it was like war could just happen, but like it wasn't like this like real dangerous right here. This is dangerous territory.
Hey, finish that precept.
I say for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
Yeah, that's those nukes. Like the brother was saying, those other different world wars, you really couldn't harm the earth. But with these missiles, all right, let me get this real quick to back up the brother. This is Isaiah 24:20. It says, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fail and not rise again. So how is the earth going to reel to and fro? Because when those missiles hit, it's going to be a lot of earthquakes. You know, it's going to be earthquakes. You're going to have different parts of the world that's going to physically be destroyed. You know, the whole earth is not going to be destroyed, but certain parts of the earth is really going to be fucked up, so to speak, man, messed up. It's going to be in a bad, terrible state. From what? From World War III. You know, like the brother read in Isaiah the 9th chapter, this shall be with fueling and burning of fire. So the brother was right, man. These nuclear missiles, they're going to physically destroy different parts of the earth. And it's all stemming from what? These wars and these different rumors of war, man. You know, it's going to come from trade tariffs. It's going to come from one nation putting sanctions on another nation. You know, these wars are going to be stirred up in different ways. You know, I got one more verse. I'll read it all the way through. Jeremiah 51:46. And lest your heart faint, and ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that in another year shall come a rumor, and violent in the land, ruler against ruler. Therefore, behold, the days come that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, and her whole land shall be confounded, and all her slain shall fall in the midst of her. All right, so the Most High getting ready to bring judgment, man. If you want to go into that article or whatever you had, you know, lined up.
Well, hey, this was published 14 minutes ago. China responds to Trump tariffs. So this is hot off the presses, man. You know, this is why the scriptures talk about it shall go to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. You know, because the Most High created this thing called the internet, the unicorn, where information can travel around the globe in seconds. China responds to Trump tariffs with proposed list of 128 U.S. products to target. Okay, we have to look at it this way, right? Let's say you got like iPhones or something, right? And let's say half the products on an iPhone are made in China. GPS, a location sensor, whatever the fuck they got, vibration technology or whatever. Let's say half the products are made in China. Those tariffs are going to make those goods or those components more expensive. So Apple's going to have to raise the prices of those goods, and it's going to affect the consumers, man. You know, prices are going to go up for everybody, not just Chinese companies, but American companies, as well as prices are going to go up at the stores and so on and so forth. You know, because everything uses electronical components these days. The world's second largest economy. Well, hey, America's the largest economy, right? You got these two superpowers that are about to lock horns. Has taken action against President Donald Trump's controversial trade tariffs. Early on Friday, China's Commerce Ministry said it proposed a list of 128 U.S. products that had an import value of $3 billion in 2017 as potential retaliation targets. Beijing will take measures against the U.S. goods in 2 stages if it cannot reach a trade agreement with Washington, the ministry stated. Recent U.S. trade actions severely damaged the multilateral trading system, right? Slowing down the flow of goods. You know, the grinding shall cease, so to speak.
Yep.
And the normal order of global trade. it continued. Chinese President Xi Jinping's administration said. The ministry also urged the U.S. to resolve its issues with China as soon as possible to avoid harming the bilateral relationship. And it says at the bottom, this is a breaking news story. Check back for updates. In fact, I just refreshed the page and there's another paragraph.
Yeah, I got a quick proof that.
Okay, go ahead, and then I'll bring the rest of this out.
This is Revelation 18 and 3. It says, "For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies." And that's these other nations, being in fornication with Babylon, which is America. You know, these other nations, basically what they do is they come over here to make money. You know, because America's really a corporation or a big bank, a banking system for the other nations, man. So, you know, the so-called Chinese, they make billions of dollars over here, man. All right, by selling their products, you know. But what Trump is trying to do is he's basically trying to cut them off, and he's trying to make America how it was back then, you know, with these different factory jobs and steel mills, if you will, or, you know, corporations, so to speak.
Yeah, he wants America to be more independent.
Right. Exactly. But, you know, that's prophecy, because these other nations, you know, they come over here purposely to make money, you know. So basically what he's trying to do is he's trying to cut the other nations off, man.
Yeah, well, hey, under a New World Order system, they can't be happening. You know, this is Job 5:12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, and this is talking about Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise, and this is going to cause a major disruption in that enterprise. Okay, if you recall, the past maybe 10, 20 years or so, there's been this big push towards globalism. And what's the opposite of that, of globalism, is nationalism and isolationism. All right? All these countries worrying about their own asses instead of creating a global system. That's what the bankers want. It's putting a somewhat of a kink in their plans, man. But we know that they're pulling the strings behind this, and they're going to use this World War III to push that chip. All right.
You got a precept, Yeshaya? I got something.
No, go ahead.
This Isaiah 24:10. It says, "The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone." And that's what's happening, man. You know, through the Spirit, the prophets out there on the highways and the byways prophesying, and the Most High is taking the mirth away from this land, man. You know, America's in a dark state right now, you know, and primarily it's coming from the Most High, but it's from the prophets out there prophesying on the streets. You know, telling you what's getting ready to take place in this landmass, man. You know, it's going to be civil war. You know, you're going to have one people fighting against another people. You know, people are going to be starving. Babies are going to be starving. Women are going to be mourning. It tells you in the Apocrypha, women are going to mourn having no husbands. You know, it speaks about Babylon's soldiers falling in the streets. So all these different things are getting ready to take place, man. This place is done. You know, the scriptures say the mirth of the land is gone, man. You know, it's going to be a crying for wine in the streets. You're going to have guys looking for the prophets. We ain't going to be out there. Lord willing, we're going to be under the bubble of Yahushua being protected. You know, you're going to have martial law troops in the streets. If you out past curfew, they're going to perform summary execution on you. You know, line your ass up and just fire off, man, with AKs. Things like this are really going to happen, man. And Lord willing, Lord willing, the Most High protects us from that, man. That's the times we entering into. It says, "In the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. Right, man. So these cities are going to be left full of desolation, desolate, man. And the gates of these cities are going to be smitten with destruction. Because these different foreign troops, they're not going to have mercy on you so-called Americans, man. You know, these different FEMA troops, these different Gurkha troops, they're not going to have mercy on you. So the Most High is getting ready to bring all chaos, man. That's why through the Spirit, this year was deemed the year of prophecy, man. You know, so that's what the prophets are here to bring you, man. We ain't here to tell you that it's going to be okay, because it's not going to be okay, man. All right, when the martial law troops kick your door in and rape your wife and your daughter in front of you and smack you in the back of the fucking head with the butt of a gun, man, that's not okay, man. So that's what the real men of the Lord is here to tell you, man. That shit is getting ready to get fucked up out here, man. And if you don't get right, the Most High gonna kill your ass. And that's what's coming, man. And that's how we gotta talk to Jake, because they think everything's a fucking game, man. Niggas out here just playing hopscotch and shit, man. Playing double dutch. The Most High getting ready to bring judgment, man. And he gonna start killing niggas. All right? So that's the message, man. You better get right, or the Most High gonna kill your ass. And the Most High is the master of bringing death, man. He'll kill you. He'll kill you in ways you don't even think you can die, man. So you better get right, man. Go ahead, though. Salaki.
It's the Lamentations, Mourning, and Woe. You got something, Shai?
Yeah, I wanted to say, like, in Austin, Texas, in them bombings that's going on, that's Jake dying in them bombings. And they're not even really pushing it on the news. They're not saying, why they ain't say it's a terrorist on the loose? Why it ain't Al-Qaeda? Where is Al-Qaeda? Ain't that Al-Qaeda? It's supposed to be a fight against terrorism. It was like 7 days and 7 bombings, and this shit's supposed to be worldwide news.
And they distracted it with that Jake that got shot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, I ain't gonna lie, that was pretty fucked up. What happened to that Jake? But that's what Esau do. He'll cover it with a different nuke, because Esau knows if an unarmed black man gets shot, that Jake gonna start rousing up. So he gotta cover those bombings, man.
Yeah, but shit, hey, that's that was due judgment probably though, you know?
Yeah, kind of course, yeah, exactly, yeah, that was a judgment, right?
Cause
you're serious.
I had a scripture real quick, and where it's at. I think it's Luke 8.
I got just a quick article for that. This is off CNN.com. It says Austin, Texas bomber left a 25-minute confession video on the phone. You know, so like the brother said, it's supposed to be terrorism, right? You know, I'm not gonna read the article, but I just wanted to read the headline.
Mm-hmm. This the book of Luke chapter 13 verse 1. It say, now there were present at that season some that told him of the Galileans, which was Israelites, whose blood Pilate had mingled with their sacrifices. Because really what those bombings is sacrifices, because ain't nobody out there fucking just making bombs. It's the government, man. It's a false flag.
Yep.
They strategically playing the bombs where Jake neighborhoods. Can't nobody, if we go around and start making bombs and shit, they gonna catch us fucking instantly.
Cause
they can track where you buying that type of material and shit from. It's only certain places you can buy that type of shit.
Yep.
So but this it's 13:1, it say 13:2. I mean Luke 13:2 it say, and Yahushua answering said unto them, suppose ye that these Galileans were sinners above all Galileans, because they had suffered such things? I tell you, nay, but except you repent, ye shall all likewise perish. So just like even that Jake that got shot by that cop, I know it's fucked up, but
that's his judgment. That's his judgment.
Yeah. If he the Lord, I don't think the Lord gonna let the men of the Lord just get gunned down like that, or
Right,
Get
right.
done like dirty like that, you know.
Yep, kind.
I mean, it's a but like our people got to repent, man, because because you know, like you were saying, they walk around acting like shit is a game. They got to get serious. This shit is it's going down.
Well, Jay gonna get done worse than that. You know, it's gonna be worse, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is 2 Corinthians 2:11. Least Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. You know, so like those bombings down there in Austin, Texas, like the brother said, man, we all know that these are all staged things, man. You know,
Another thing I wanted to say, Salat. Another thing I wanted to say was, yeah, they got to repent. Our people got to repent, man, because that's what's going to protect you in the time of trouble.
God. Yeah, repentance.
Hey, I got I'm gonna finish up this article here, and I got a scripture on it.
All right.
Because there's more to the article. I just refreshed it. Chinese President Xi Jinping's administration could take legal action under World Trade Organization rules, the statement said. Right, because these nations, they have trade agreements in place. So basically, Trump is breaking contracts by doing this. You know? I mean, they can modify the trade deals that they want, but they have to do so, you know, legally or whatever. So Esau's breaking his own rules. Trump signed an executive memorandum on Thursday that is set to impose tariffs on up to $60 billion in Chinese imports. This is the first of many trade actions, the president said, so there's more coming. New measures will primarily target certain products in the technology sector where Beijing holds an advantage over Washington. That followed Trump's executive order earlier this month that imposed broad duties on foreign aluminum and steel imports, an action that many believe could trigger a global trade war. Well, hey, the prophecy, how about Shem Yahushai? We know that this is going to be one of the steps towards triggering a world war, not just a global trade war, but a global war. Okay. I got a couple scriptures. This is 2 Ezra 16 and 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth. All right. But right now, and once these tariffs go through and China follows through with theirs and all this back and forth starts, all right, those victuals are going to be more expensive, man. All right. We're going to see inflation from this. But it's going to slow down this economy, man. That they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth. So
yeah, you might think Salakia, you might think the economy is gonna bounce back, and then next thing you know, shit hits the fan, because that's basically what Trump is trying to sell you, that the economy he's gonna bring back the economy. Mm-hmm. He ain't gonna bring back the economy, man, because the Most High is gonna destroy the economy. You know?
Well, the markets fell like 740 points on this news, man. So I mean, obviously, I don't know what he's thinking in his eagle face mind, but it's not necessarily good for the economy, man.
And the debt clock, Salakia, not to cut you off, the debt clock is continually rising.
That's right.
You know, the debt clock ain't stopping, man. So, you know, he ain't bringing nobody out of debt. I think it's like 20 trillion, 21 trillion or something.
21 trillion. And a lot of that debt is owed to who? To China. So they got a bargaining card, man. If they pull that debt card, you know, things could get really ugly really quickly.
Yeah, I got a preset.
All right, go ahead. Then I'll finish up in here. In fact, I might as well just read the whole chapter pretty much. It's good.
All right, I got two quick ones. This Jeremiah 51 and 9. It say, 51:8. It say Babylon is suddenly fallen. Say Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain? If so, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone to his own country. For her judgment is reached unto heaven and is lifted even into the skies.
Yeah, and the key point was that 9th verse. It says we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed, because the Most High put the monkey wrench in between this place, so to speak, man. You got bridges falling, you got bombs going off, you got the infrastructure. You know, everything is messed up, man. You know, you can't drive down the street without fucking hitting the pothole. So everything from the money system.
Hey, that fucking bridge just fell on all them people in Florida.
Yeah, man. Because the infrastructure is all messed up. You know, everything's corroded, man. And that's the Most High bringing this place down, man.
They said it was a measles outbreak going on.
You had another precept?
Yeah, I got one more precept. You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
All right, this because not only is Babylon going to be destroyed, but the Most High is going he gonna bring down all the nations. Like he gonna bring down Moab too. He gonna bring down China too, because China ain't gonna come up off of this deal. This
right.
This the book of Jeremiah chapter 48 verse 26. It say, make you him drunken, for he magnified himself against the Lord. Moab also shall wallow in his own vomit, and he also shall be in derision. For was not Israel in a derision unto thee? Was he found among thieves? For since he spake of him, thou skippest for joy. O ye that dwell in Moab, leave the cities and dwell in the rock, and be like the dove that maketh her nest on the sides of the hole's mouth. We have heard the pride of Moab. He is exceeding proud. Hell yeah. His loftiness and his arrogance and his pride and the haughtiness of his heart, because Moab act just like the so-called white man.
Yep, I was gonna say that. Yep. And not to mention Moab think he got next, man. Yeah. He think he gonna be the next. You know, they think they're gonna be the next ruling class mentality, not knowing that the Israelites is gonna have.
Moab is gonna rule just for a split second.
Yeah, that's that Sakari doctrine, man. I think they said Russia was gonna rule for a split second, something to that. But after Esau goes down, man, hey man, Yahweh Shai's rulership is next, man. You know.
Yeah. Jacob is the beginning of that follows.
Right. You got it, Yasharon, if you want to finish up. I got something after you.
I mean, I hate to keep bringing up the economy, but you know, it's my bread and butter. I was just looking up the markets, and
now bring it out. Hey, that's information, man. You know, that's biblical too, man.
Transports were down 304 points today, right? What that indicates is a slowing down of trade. You know, shipping companies, trucking companies, freight like airliners and airplanes and shit. That when transports go down, that usually represents what a slowing down of trade, man, and that's what these tariffs are going to bring. You know, but this 2nd Ezra 16:1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. We know what's going on in Syria right now. And it's been going on like that for a couple years now. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry for your destruction is at hand. And there's going to be a lot, they're going to be bewailing their children, man. Because what the children represent, they represent your future, And a lot of those children are going to be getting put to death, man. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away?
Right, just like the Most High, sent plagues amongst just like the Most High sent plagues amongst the ancient Egyptians. That plague hit ancient Egypt by a storm, man, and they didn't know what to do. So the Most High gonna do it again, but on a larger scale. You got it.
Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? And part of these tariffs are going to lead to what? Famines, man. May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it hath begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?
Yeah, so when you starving in the streets because it ain't no food, it's a lack of bread, it ain't gonna be nothing you can do about it. Or when the stock market crashes, it ain't gonna be nothing you can do about it. When they bring the chip, when they dump the dollar, man, it's nothing you're gonna be able to do about it, because the scripture clearly just said the mighty Lord sent the plagues, and who is he that shall draw them back, man, or draw them away? So you ain't gonna be able to do nothing to stop this, man. This destruction.
That's right. It can't be reversed. It's already put in motion. All right. A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten. The Lord shall threaten. And how is he threatening right now? Through his prophets, man. We're telling you jakes out there that if you don't get right, that you're going to be hit with this shit, man. And it's going to consume you and kill you. Okay? And not just you, but your children, man. Like it says in Hosea 4:6. The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. All right, so all this that's going on, this is showing the power of the Lord, man. There could be peace and safety, and the Lord could just turn everything upside down. For strong in his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. That's what World War III is going to lead to. Okay, these arrows, okay, are talking about the ICBM missiles, and they're going to be shot from one end of the earth to the other, man. That's why these scriptures are written in code. Okay, it's all spiritual. Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled, and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Okay? Because that's how bad it's going to be. You're going to need to be delivered by them chariots, man. Okay? That's how bad it's going to be. You're not going to be able to deliver yourself. If you're supposed to be put to death, man, Most High will have them angels chase your ass down, man, and have something happen to you. Okay? That's why we have to lean upon him instead of physical, temporal things, you know.
I got a quick precept.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Well, I got one more verse. It's like the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. But right now, we're seeing everything be put in motion with that, man. I was reading an article last night. Lord willing, I might do a video on it after this show. That all these school shootings going on. Esau's starting to have these nationwide school protests to try and get the young people to get guns banned, and it's already working in some states. Okay. The beginning of wars and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Okay. But we've been telling you what you should do when these evils shall come. If you don't know, then you need to be watching, man.
Go ahead, bro. You got it. I'll go after you.
It say marvel Sirach 11:21. It say, marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord. Abide in thy labor, for it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich. And part of our riches is gonna be the Lord protecting us. Because in that day you're gonna know what the Lord's chosen was. Verse 22, it say the blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the godly, and suddenly he maketh his blessing to flourish. So when the angels, when like in Daniel, where it say he gonna send Michael the archangel, that's a blessing, and it's gonna happen suddenly. You know, when the miracles and stuff start popping off, it's gonna be sudden, just like shit gonna go from sugar to shit suddenly. We're gonna start seeing our blessings flourish. It say not, what profit is there of my service, or what good thing shall I have hereafter? Again, say not, I have enough and possess many things, for what evil can come to me hereafter? In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction, and in the day of affliction, there is no remembrance of prosperity. So everybody who got these worldly possessions and stuff, they're not gonna remember those things, and it ain't gonna come to mind.
He showed you that. Oh, Salaki, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say they showed you that in that movie. It was the movie. It was one of these different San Andreas.
Oh yeah.
The movie with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson is his real name. It was just one Edomite in the movie. He actually built the architect for the buildings. You know, he was like a billionaire. But in San Andreas, they basically show you that, you know, the whole city went down from what was it, earthquakes and all? Yeah, primarily earthquakes. Mm-hmm. So in that movie, the whole movie, he was walking around all proud because his job was to build the structure of the buildings. He was like a billionaire. But as soon as those earthquakes hit, he tried to run away from his death. And the way he died in the movie was like, it made you, everybody in the movie theater was like, hell yeah, because during the whole movie, he was proud as shit. But then when those earthquakes came, the way he died, everybody was happy because his pride was gone, man. You know? So that, you know, like the brother said, man, the day of affliction, you know, prosperity is gonna be cut off, man. I don't give a fuck how much money you got in your bank account. You know, once you faced with death, you don't think about that, man.
Mm-hmm. You know, this verse 26, it say, for it is an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways. The affliction of an hour maketh a man to forget pleasure, and in his end his deed shall be discovered.
Right, the affliction of an hour shall make a man forget pleasure, man. So basically what the Lord is saying is when you faced with some shit, the only thing you're gonna be thinking about is how can I get out of this? You ain't gonna think about what you got. you're gonna think about how can I get out of this, man? You know? This is that was it, brother?
Yeah, that was it.
All right, this is Jeremiah 5:20. It says, declare this in the house of Jacob and publish it in Judah, saying, hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not. Fear ye not me, saith the Lord? Will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sea for the bound, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by a perpetual decree, that it cannot pass it, and through the waves thereof toss themselves? Yet can they not prevail, though they roar? Yet can they not pass over it? But this people have a revolting and a rebellious heart. They are revolted and gone. Neither say they in their heart, let us now fear the Lord our God that giveth rain, both the former and the latter, in his season. He reserveth unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest. So the Most High, like, yo, you fear ye not me? You know, the one that made the sea and the waves to roar. You know, the one that made the rain. You know, all these things that you see around you, I did that, man. And you don't fear me? You know, and that's the attitude of Jake, man, because they don't believe something until they see it. So when the Most High start bringing these death angels down, Jake gonna be looking around. Then they gonna want to fear the Lord, but then it's gonna be too late.
Yeah,
it says your iniquities have turned away these things, and your sins have withholden good things from you. So because you like to go off, the Most High is what? Keeping good things from you, man. It says, for among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that seeth set of snares. They set a trap, they catch them. As a cage full of birds, so are they, their houses full of deceit. Therefore they are become great and waxing rich. You know, that was basically it on that. You know. But go ahead.
This is Habakkuk 2:1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision. And we know what the vision is. All right? The vision is these prophecies coming to pass. It's more like visions, you know? And make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Okay, and that's our job as servants of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Take these visions and put them in layman's terms for the people and filter them through the scriptures. Okay? For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Right? Just like these tariffs. They had an appointed time to go through today. You know? And this is really fracturing Esau's kingdom, man. In fact, that Lord willing, we might bring that scripture out next. But at the end, it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Okay, and it doesn't look like it's going to tarry, which means to linger on or carry on much longer, man. No? So now is the time to be pushing this word, man. I mean, how much longer are you gonna wait? You gonna wait till the fucking draft comes to start making videos? You know? Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith, and that's what we live by, man, by our faith. Okay, you know that's the only way that we're gonna get delivered out of this. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Right, and that's Esau, man. He's a proud man. He doesn't. He really he's gonna be the undoing of his own kingdom, man. You know, he's a proud man, man. He can't just mind his business. He's got to interfere with everything. Neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. Gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. That's America, man, this melting pot. And he also tries to get all these other nations to go along with his philosophies. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Okay? And that's why these tariffs are going into place. Because Esau's in debt, man. He's got to make some money. You know, America's in debt, laden with thick clay. You know, it's got to make some of that money back. You know, but it's going to start. It's the precursor to starting actual physical warfare. Now it's just a trade war, but it's going to erupt into something bigger. That's pretty much it on that.
All right, you got some, Ishaya?
You had some?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
This James 5:1, it says, Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. All right, and that's these different elites. All right, these different rich individuals, these rich Edomites basically in society, man. All right, it says that their miseries are gonna come upon them. You know, it says your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them that shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days, right? Because how do they get their riches? By deceit, okay? Primarily through the blood of the saints, you know, because America and these different Edomites around the world, they still prospering off slavery, man. You know, because the scriptures say that their riches were gotten by deceit. All right, Federal Reserve note, which is backed by nothing.
No, I just seen. Hey, Salak, I just seen a fucking article where it say I forgot what state it is, but they said it was a state up north too. It was like fucking Connecticut or fuck. They said that the people is paying a tax from slavery to the people. I forgot what damn. They said
that's how corrupt this society is, man.
Mm-hmm.
It says, behold,
we got
James 5:4.
The IRS, and the IRS is a private. I mean, a little off topic, and the IRS is a privately owned organization, man. They got their own police force and everything. They don't even have to abide by so-called U.S. laws, man. Everything in the society is backwards, you know?
It says, James 5:4, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. And the cries of them which reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. All right, and that's basically Jake, man. Okay, we're the ones that built this society. You know, we're the ones that keep this economy flowing. You know, if every Negro, Latino, and Native American just stopped working, this whole society would crash, man, in 2 minutes. You know, so we're the ones that's really keeping this thing going, man. It says, ye have lived in pleasures on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as it were the day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. And that's, you can't tell me that's not Jake, man. That's Jake up and down. All right? You know, you got it.
Man, Jake's not paying attention to this, man.
Con.
They're at the corner store right now getting blunts for their good times tonight, man. They're in the mindset of mirth. You know, here it is. They're living in this land in their captivity, and they fucking don't got shit. You know, they're at the bottom of the barrel. They're despised. They're byword. They're walking byword or a group of bywords, and they fucking they're not paying attention to what's going on, man. They're not looking to get out of here. They're just zombified, man. As long as there's some new tracks coming out and they can put on some headphones, it's like they're on another fucking planet, man. Matthew 12 and 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation.
Woo.
And this is the vision of the New World Order. And every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, America and China, the Moabites, all right, Idumea versus Moab. That's what this is, man.
Yeah, or Esau, America versus Russians, man. You know, that's Edomite versus Edomites.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you look at the BRICS nations, right? There's a lot of nations that want to join these BRICS nations. You got Turkey wanting to join. You already got Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. India and China alone is like, what, 3 billion people? It's almost half the world's population, man. And if they all decide to get together, okay, we're going to create our own system and say, fuck the U.S. dollar, the U.S. dollar's toast, man. You know, say hi to inflation. Say hello to inflation.
Hey. Paper money is toast. It's this restaurant. It's this restaurant on Elmwood in Buffalo. They don't even take cash no more.
Mm-hmm.
You only can pay with debit cards now. It's a big restaurant. It's called ETS.
There's a lot of in Europe like that.
You talking about on
Yeah, but this America. It's like it's America.
Yeah, I know where ETS is. That's on what's the name?
Elmwood.
Yeah, Elmwood. This taco and sub spot.
Yeah.
Hey, they don't take cash?
Is it? Yeah, I think not through like I don't know. I only order from the Skip the Dishes. I know they used to take cash when you ordered on Skip the Dishes, but they don't take cash no more. They only take card payments.
Okay. I'm slowly approaching to that time.
Continuing on. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? All right, so his kingdom's not going to stand, man. You know, you got these elites, the Rothschilds and so on and so forth. They want to introduce this mark of the beast system, but you're going to have some opposition in certain parts of the world, man. You know, and that's going to create World War III. You know, because Putin I think Putin actually banned the Rothschilds from visiting Russia, man. You know, he don't like them Rothschilds, man, because the Rothschilds were the ones that killed, I believe it was Nicholas II, the Tsar of Russia, and took all his money, man. You know,
I got a quick one. This is Revelation 12 and 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels. All right, and Michael and his angels is who? You know, Yahushua, the archangel Michael, okay, and the angels and the chariots, man. Okay. It says, and his angels fought against the dragon and his angels. Who's the dragon and his angels? Esau and his military, man. It says, and prevailed not, neither was their place found anymore in heaven. So who prevailed not? The dragon and his angels prevailed not. Meaning what? They're not going to win this war, man. They show you that in these different movies like Battle of Los Angeles, Independence Day. They show you the dragon and his angels winning the war, man. But that's not the case. They're not gonna prevail like the scriptures say, man. They're gonna lose by a landslide. Yahushua and the angels gonna fuck Esau up, man. All right. It says, and the great dragon was cast out. Okay, he was cast out, man. That old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Okay. So he ain't gonna win this war, man. All right. This is talking about the Third World War, man. All right. It says, and I heard a loud voice saying, well, primarily it's talking about Yahweh Shai and the angels fighting against these devils in this military, man. All right. It says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is salvation, and now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power. Okay. And the power of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. Okay, Esau. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. And that's talking about who? The prophets, man. All right, that's talking about the prophets. They love not their lives unto the death. That's the men of the Lord. All right, because we really ain't living, man. You know, the scriptures say you shall drink poison and live. You know, we really just living to do this work. That's really the main reason why we're here, man. All right, it says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So Esau's gonna come down on Jake, man, because he knows his time is short. He knows the scriptures is getting ready to be fulfilled, starting with their elites. These elites know the scriptures is gonna be fulfilled, man. That's why they spraying chemtrails every day and night. All right, that's why they put more poison in the foods, man. They put more homosexual shit on the TV, man. I was watching this fucking I started this new series on Netflix 2 nights ago. It's called How to Get Away with Murder, and they got faggots all in the shit, man. I was pissed off. Said Esau keep putting this homosexual shit out there, man. So he coming at Jake on every angle, man. You know? Go ahead, brother. You got it.
Well, hey, that's and it's not just mental; it's also physical, man. Esau's putting all kinds of soy in the food, which is known to give men breasts, you know, and
sugar,
estrogen levels.
Fucking sugars and everything, man.
Mm-hmm. You know,
and it's that GMO sugar. It ain't real sugar. It's that GMO shit.
Yeah, because over here, what do we got? Johnny Ryan. It says that shit is made with real pure cane sugar. And if you taste that, which I don't really drink soda, but, you know, if you taste that and you compare it to, like, your average cola, like Coca-Cola or Pepsi, it tastes completely different, man. And it makes you feel when you drink it. I mean, I don't drink soda, but, you know, if you know, it's just a comparison.
Right.
But, is Ezekiel 38:1, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And it's talking about Russia. Okay? And if you don't believe us, look on a map. Where's Gog and Magog? You know? Talking about who's in that land right now. And say, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. Okay? That's what's happening right now, man. Russia's going back into anti-American mode. They have been for the past couple of years. Returning back into a warlike power, always upgrading their military, forming military alliances with Syria, Iran, and China. And I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Okay, so it's not just going to be Russia's army rushing into World War III, man. They're going to have other nations joining them as well. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. All of them with shield and helmet. Okay? Gomer and all his bands. Gomer representing what? Turkey. And Turkey has a very large standing army. The house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Okay? And like we were getting into earlier with the BRICS nations. All those BRICS nations are going to be having their armies join up with Russia in that time.
Hey,
all right, you're going to have America and its allies and Russia and its allies going to war in the Middle East there. You want to say something?
I got a precept real quick.
All right, then
It's
we'll go back.
going on. It's just correlating with what you said about Gog and Magog being the Russians. This Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel.
Sound like you froze for a minute. Go ahead.
This is Ezekiel 39:1. It say, therefore, thou son of man, prophesy against God, and say, thus saith Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and leave but the sixth part of thee. I will cause thee to come up from the north parts, and I will bring thee upon the mountains of Israel. Now, in verse 2, where it said the sixth part, it's a movie that came out in 1926 called The Sixth Part of the World. And it was about Russia, because that's how big the landmass is.
Okay.
In verse 2, it said he was going to take the sixth part of thee. And the sixth part represents Russia. Because when you put in Google sixth part of the world, that movie pop up and tell you it's about Russia. This is 1926 it came out.
Yeah, Esau knows, man. Esau knows. You know, it's Jake that don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Esau knows, man. This devil know that, starting with his elites, this devil know that these scriptures is real, man. You know, hey, this book is real, man. All right, this ain't the Quran, man. This ain't the Egyptian Book of the Dead. This is the holy Bible, the holy scriptures, man. This book has a lot of prophecies in it, man, and it speaks about the different kingdoms that rose on the planet, and it speaks about the kings that ruled those kingdoms, man. So this book is real, man. It's a history book.
Wait, it talks about the foundation of the world, man. I was watching this video the other day. I might have to put it on the channel, man. It was this guy getting into completely debunking the Big Bang Theory. You know, and he was showing how the universe actually like looks like based on what they know and matching it up with the Bible and all that. You know, it was pretty good, man. So even the foundation of the earth is found in these scriptures, man. You know, everything is found in these scriptures. You brothers done? Can I get back into this, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Back in Ezekiel 38:7. Be thou prepared. Prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. And that's what we're seeing Russia do, man. They're being a guard unto Syria right now. Okay? After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Trying to find that part. Okay, verse 10. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. Okay? So something's going to come into Gog and Magog's mind, Russia's mind, where they're going to strike. Okay? And with all these tariffs and trade wars and going back and forth, and America blaming Russia for this and blaming Russia for that and blaming Russia for cyber attacks that happened 2 weeks ago or something, I believe, or a week and a half ago. Eventually, Russia's just going to say enough, and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to put a thought into their mind to strike. either America or one of their major interests, man. And Putin already released a statement saying, talking about possibly nuking London. You know, we know that that's the headquarters of the elites. You know?
I got a quick precept. This is Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Most High got these, Trump, Putin, these different kings of the earth. You know, even the elites. The Most High got, they hearts. You know, he's controlling them, man. They basically like pawns, and the Most High is controlling them. So whatever happens is all of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, his movement, man. What he wants them to do.
That's right.
The Most High got that. The Most High got that rough spirit on Vladimir Putin, man, because the Most High said he was going to turn back the spirit of the kings of the Medes. He gonna put hooks in their jaws, man. So that's why he got that spirit on him, you know.
Well, that's why the scriptures say the scriptures describe Russia as being the bear. You know, fierce animal. That when you provoke a bear, man, you better watch the hell up. You better watch out. You know.
That's pretty much all I got.
You got something, Shai?
Yeah, I got something going with what he said with the Lord going to be in control of everything. It's Ezekiel 38:14. It say, therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto God, thus saith Yahweh, in that day when my people of Israel dwell safely, shalt thou not know of it. And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, and thou and many people with thee, all them riding upon horses, a great company and a mighty army. And thou shalt come up against my people Israel as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be in the latter days, and I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me, when I shall be sanctified in thee, O God, before their eyes. Thus saith Yahweh, art thou he of whom I spake of old time by my servants the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years, that I will bring thee against them? And it shall come to pass at the same time, when God shall come up against the land of Israel, said Yahweh, that my fury shall come up in my face, for in my jealousy, in the fire of my wrath, I have spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel.
Go ahead, Matt. You break it down.
So the Lord gonna bring Russia against the land of Israel too, but it's all the Lord in control, you know, controlling because he's going to destroy Russia too. The Edomite Russia is going into slavery too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, parts of Russia is going to be destroyed too.
In Elam, and the Ammonites, all of them going into slavery. And he's going to destroy all of them. All of them going to be destroyed.
That's right. And you mentioned that about our land of Israel, man. You know, all them rats got to be exterminated out of there. You know?
Yeah, it says in Isaiah 30.
World War III's happening in the Middle East.
It says in Isaiah 34 that Isaiah 34:2, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury is upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. So like the brother said, those other nations they gonna get it too, man. You know, different parts of Russia's gonna be destroyed because America's gonna shoot missiles on Russia too, China, you know, etc., man. So That's the times we coming into, man. You know?
Yeah, it's gonna be a global clusterfuck, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be worse than any time ever. It gotta be fucked up everywhere.
Yeah, that's Daniel's the 12th chapter. But we get ready to close it up.
All right.
I don't know if you was bringing out something, Yasharan. Seeing you looking for something.
Yeah, I'll just bring out this last scripture. It fits well. Mark 13:33. Take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. We know it's getting close. That's why we always got to be watching, man. Because, you know, you can be asleep. Like look at that brother, man, that was in Hawaii. He got woken up in the morning on a Saturday with a text message saying that there was going to be nuke shot on Hawaii. You know, we got to be prepared because things can get real at any time.
You need to shut down, just like fuck, because I can't believe like them bombings in Austin. It did 7 bombings. Like if they start bombing stuff in Cleveland and all over the place, it'd be bombs. They could just be like, "Oh, we're going to bring in martial law any day."
Right.
If it's shit like that going on.
Mm-hmm. And you people think in America are clouded with judgment, or your judgment is clouded. You think that you got rights and that the Congress is going to have to do this and the president is going to have to do that. You're going to find out, man, that your government really don't give a fuck about your rights.
Yeah, you're gonna get a full box.
We're
gonna do a fucking full box on your fucking porch.
They're gonna say, "Here, eat this."
Welfare packages, baby.
For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants and to every man his work, commanded the porter to watch. All right, and we're his servants, and we have the authority to watch over. Okay, we have Yahushua gave us the authority to basically watch over his house, man, the house of Israel, all right, and the house of Judah. Watch ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh, at even or at midnight, or at the cock crowing, or in the morning, lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping. And what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch. All right, like the scriptures say, be sober, be vigilant, for your adversary, the devil, be roaring about, seeking whom he may devour, man. You know, you don't want to be caught sleeping, man.
That's right.
And Yashwamba did a beautiful video earlier, talk about how guys are getting tired, man. Listen, man, if you're getting tired, drink some fucking coffee or something. You know? I mean, what the hell, man? Now ain't the time to be dozing off. Now's the time to be on alert.
You're at the end of the race, so you gotta, when you see the finish line, you gotta go harder, man.
Mm-hmm. Just like the marathon runners, they jog and they jog and they jog, but when they see that finish line, they speed it up a little bit, you know.
Yeah, this truth is basically it's basically a marathon, you know. It's not a sprint. You got to pace yourself, you know. Scripture speak about drinking, eating enough which is sufficient for thee. So you got to pace yourself, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, we're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings and salutations to the house of David, the elect. All right, to the next lesson, we say Shalom.
Shalom.